There's been a lot of controversy surrounding a particular LTW and Just Like That Season 3 storyline, but it's not the one that should provoke fans' ire. The headline-making storyline is, of course, from Episode 6, Silent Mode, when Lisa's father passed away. The reason for the backlash is that eagle-eyed viewers noted what they believed was a plot hole, as LTW mentioned all the way back in Season 1 that her father had already died. Reactions to the apparent continuity error went viral, with fans calling out the And Just Like That writers for seemingly dropping the ball. However, the show was quick to address the LTW controversy, explaining that she was referring to her stepfather back in Season 1, and everyone essentially moved on. But in a season that has given Lisa rich storylines like making her dream docuseries and developing a steamy work crush, there's one plot I just can't abide. LTW has been emotionally babysitting her husband all season long. Lisa Todd Wexley, Nicole Ari Parker, talking face-to-face with her husband Herbert Wexley, Christopher Jackson, in And Just Like That. Season 3 EP 6. Image via Max. Back in And Just Like That Season 2, Herbert decided to run for New York City Controller, backed by LTW's full encouragement and support. Season 3 sees him on the campaign trail and under a lot of pressure, much of which Herbert carries home with him to his marriage. This is understandable, and there was a lot of fertile emotional soil that could have been mined, but instead, And Just Like That turns Herbert into an image-obsessed manchild whose entire episodic storylines revolve around looking cool or trying to keep a slim waistline. What's worse about all of this is how much Herbert demands of his wife in helping him keep up appearances, chastising her for booking a family glamping vacation. Glamping isn't cool, or stocking the home with fattening foods. Yes, anyone would want to lean on their spouse while running in a high-stakes election, but Herbert's behavior is straight out of the 1950s. It feels like, if Herbert had his druthers, LTW would quit her job as a highly successful documentarian and be a full-time campaign wife. He certainly treats her that way, as he constantly calls her at work with one superficial problem after another, never mind that she, too, is an incredibly busy professional with deadlines. The original Sex and the City was celebrated for how refreshingly modern its female characters were. It would be tough to imagine Samantha or Miranda putting up with a partner so needy and inconsiderate of their professional lives. That's what makes this LTW storyline so baffling. And Just Like That established the character as a badass in her career field, and she deserves a husband who celebrates that. And Just Like That Season 3 has totally dropped LTW's work crush storyline. Marion Odin, Mekhed Brooks, and LTW, Nicole Ari Parker, smiling at each other on a plane in And Just Like That. When LTW isn't fielding inane phone calls from Herbert, she's actually had one of And Just Like That Season 3's most interesting storylines thanks to her work crush. When she hires editor Marion Odin to work on her documentary, she assumes that he is a woman based on his name. Of course, not only is he a man, but an incredibly handsome one at that, and they immediately slip into a work groove full of crackling chemistry that definitely veers into flirtation territory. Lisa's work crush is a refreshing storyline because it's such a relatable storyline, and she matter-of-factly recognizes it and confides in Charlotte about that. Unfortunately, for the past 3 episodes, And Just Like That Season 3 has dropped the Lisa and Marion storyline like a lit match. The last time it was touched on was in Episode 8, Happily Ever After, when LTW fled an important work event to buy her daughter seltzer because things got too charged with Marion. As vexing as Herbert has been this season, I don't want LTW to cheat on him. But I also don't want her crush on Marion to be abandoned in the most unfeminist way possible. Now that Herbert's campaign is over, Lisa needs to become the heroine of her own storyline once again, and that includes resolving the issue with Marion. LTW needs to stand up to Herbert at the end of And Just Like That Season 3. LTW, Nicole Ari Parker, and Herbert, Christopher Jackson, sitting with their daughter, Ellie Rayner, in And Just Like That Season 3. Both this season and the entire Sex and the City sequel series as a whole have been polarizing, but we still love these characters, and with And Just Like That ending at Season 3, they deserve fitting endings. Especially LTW, now that Herbert officially lost the election, Lisa is having to babysit him more than ever before. It's completely reasonable for a person to lean on their spouse after a huge professional setback, but the latest episode, Forgot About the Boy, has Herbert brusquely pushing LTW away after a season of steamrolling her needs with his own. We do get some insight into why Herbert placed such a premium on winning the election, even over his own wife, in Episode 10, Better Than Sex. This is when he loses, and his mother, Eunice, insensitively scolds him, saying, "How could you ever enter a race if there was a chance you could lose?" That says a lot. But it's time LTW said something. Lisa and Herbert's marriage has been one-sided all season long, and it's been almost as frustrating as watching Carrie and Aiden's toxic relationship play out. At least that one finally went up in flames.